End of the week, Producers Pod. Finally, got to Friday again. And, we're a man down today. It's okay. Hello, it's Noel Nick. I'm joined by executive producer Alicia, back from Sydney. Mitch is back from Sydney as well.
Yep.
But our little man Lockie is just taking the long weekend.
You need some
recharge
sad
those batteries.
Music, like we're man down.
No, that's all right. But we've got next soldier up and tell. Oh my God!
Say goodbye.
Oh, it's a special guest, but under a gag order, I'm not allowed to say his name. Oh, it's such a shame. I wish he could join us on this thing. He loves it, but is he gonna? Oh, I said the word gag and he got all excited.
Bye,
you know that laugh. It was Lansing. See you, mate.
Hey!
And his biggest contribution to the podcast all year. But no, look, we're back. You guys are back from Sydney. Of course, Lockie and I didn't go down, but that's okay. That's okay.
It sounds a bit sour in the voice there.
I haven't listened to the Wednesday's producer pod just in case.
It's dark. It's dark.
I actually haven't listened to it yet. So
I wouldn't imagine why you would have. Now, do tell me, because again, it's a massive operation. One, to just get the team down there, down to Sydney, and run an event like, and it looked awesome. It looked awesome for Queensland to get the win. It hurt me, but I think that's the ideal thing for our guys. But Alicia, just run me through the logistics of one. Cause I reckon rounding them up around an airport is just going to be the hardest thing.
Well, yeah, I should say that I ran into very early problems with our timeline because I thought I didn't have to check it immediately, which was my first mistake. Because as soon as we got back from the airport, the same day we were going to the captain's run, and I thought we'd have at least an hour at the hotel. So I got to the hotel, checked in, put my bag upstairs, and then I got a call from our first listener saying, hey, we're in the lobby. Are we supposed to be meeting now?
Oh, no.
And I was like, let me just check the itinerary. And we were 5 minutes beforehand. So I had to text everybody straight away being like, we need to be downstairs right now.
Oh, and you just would have been thinking about that tiny little rest you were about to get in the hotel.
Yeah. So that was a fun start. But no, our listeners were fantastic. They were good fun.
Yeah.
They were all really pleased to be there. Massive Queensland supporters.
Yeah.
I don't know how Tani's voice survived her screaming Queenslander
over
and over again at the game.
Like, it was organic, but when I wanted to film it, and I'm like, I just wanted to give me a heads up. But then it's not genuine. I'm like, do I sit there and record for 15 straight minutes and she doesn't do it?
Yeah.
Or do I sit there and miss it every two? And the longer it went on, I mean, she was very croaky by the end of it.
Yeah, and I think the more drinks went in, the more frequently they were occurring.
But unbothered by any of the Blues fans that were around us, because we've covered on the show this week. Ash and Lutz and Suze ripped in. Even Buzz, actually, as a fellow Blues fan, ripped into the woman that was behind us. Away from her, officially. We did it behind microphones like heroes. But
well, I said something to her, much to Lutz's embarrassment.
Really?
Yeah. Because it got to a point where I had to turn around and say something because she was being so rude and
really
sit down, you're ruining the game for us. And in the end I just turned around and said, have you ever been to a rugby game? People stand up to cheer for their team. You're not complaining when the New South Wales supporters are standing up to cheer.
It wasn't even that. Like, it was. I thought it'd say, okay, because they were all calling us, hey, all's fair and love and war and all that sort of stuff in at Origin games, but the bloke behind me, and he'd be throwing it out to Queensland supporters or players, and you bogan maggots! I'm like, that's a creative sort of double up. That's fantastic.
I think, and coming from a New South Wales family and then I moved north, there is a real Queensland prejudice. I will say that now. New South Wales truly does look down on Queensland as second-class citizens.
Yeah.
And
we're aware of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's funny, like when my North Queensland wife would like come down to stay with my family, and especially when they didn't transpose that onto North Queensland.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, guys, this is bordering into pretty dicey stuff. Can you? I know you've said this all your life, but can you not do this? I'm compromised now.
Give me 3 days. Just keep it tight. But yeah, like we would have other Blues fans get up and to go to the bathroom, go get a drink or something, and so we'd then have to stand up to allow them to walk through.
And even
just drop it
down. It's like, what do you want? Do you want them climbing over the top? But then it got to the point by the end of the game where there would be someone like 10 spots down from us, weren't there, Alicia, that in no way could have at any stage impeded her view. It would have impeded her view of like halfway up the southern stand.
Oh, sure.
But that person would stand up, sit down! I paid money to be here and you are ruining it for me and everybody. And I'm like, what? Are we just supposed to sit here and stay still
even
and
her
quiet?
husband was being like, you need to stop.
You need to
Like,
calm
down,
down,
guys.
Yeah,
Honestly.
permission to treat the witnesses hostile.
And you know what? A bit more noise coming from the Blues fans at that particular night in that particular
I
section would have
had
been welcome.
Because it was originally sat, like how we entered the row was how we ended up sitting. And Suze was at the end next to a New South Wales supporter. And he was screaming so loudly, me and Suze had to swap places because it was too loud for her. So at the start of the match, we thought he was going to be the issue, but he was actually a great bloke. Like there was some more Queenslanders sat just in front of him and me, and they ended up making friends. And he was good fun. He was just loud, but the woman behind us was loud and annoying.
Yeah, the banter outside of her was actually
it was great.
fun,
it was a good game.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy that because most sort of radio competitions, and let's say it would be Swaz, whatever it is, something where you give away a big prize. Usually it's to like a VIP section, and it can be like maybe to like a corporate box or something like that. But Origin's a different arena, and it's just the prize was flights and accommodation, and really good seats.
They were great seats actually.
But you're just another person out there, and all of a sudden that starts to get washed away very quickly.
Yeah.
I did like though as well that Ash had his old school like radio.
I saw the photo of that. I saw like old man Ash with his little transistor.
I looked at him and I was like, Ash, what is that? Just use your phone. He's like, no, you can't trust the signal and those things.
No, I'm with him. There's there was 80,000 people there the other night, and trying to pick up any type of reception or anything. So I'm fully on board that. And when I saw him pull it out, I'm like, I wish that I'd brought the same. I've got one of those sports ears that either hook in, so you can listen, Leash, to either what the referee is saying. You can just listen to the on-field chat, or one ear as the referee, one ear is the commentary for the TV.
I never understood why commentary like matters though. If you're watching the game,
the Reece Walsh, the Reece Walsh thing was really good for Ash because like we were paying attention to the runaway, and he's like, Reece Walsh is gone, and then something's happening. They're looking at replay, so they're commentating the replay, and then Ash is sort of relaying it to us, or when they'd actually, he's failed his HIA, he's not coming back, or whatever was going on.
It's just context. I mean, it's great for conversation, like in the stands, but also like you want answers, you want to know, and you want the experience. You want to still have a better experience than someone who's watching a TV at home. That's I think how it ends up. But yeah, you guys, you got the result, and I saw you had a limo, you had drinks. Buzz cracked the shits. I don't know.
Yeah, he did. When we were on the way back, the limo was sort of in two sections, seats at the back and then the door and then the front seats. And on the way there, we were all sat in the front, and on the way back, Buzz just sat at the back.
Well, he had BT there last year. He had Five Arms as another Blues fan.
But he didn't come this year.
He was outnumbered.
Yeah. But I should say on the limo talk, like, big shout out from me to Mitch, because on the limo on the way there, everyone was enjoying the champagne and partying to the music, and Mitch was just out of it on his own, editing a video straight away to go up immediately on the socials.
Well, the thing with that was
great commitment.
Ash brought his old school radio, and I'm sitting there trying to I'm like, what song am I going to put in? I'm trying to listen to the track, and the music was so loud in the limo. Like, no wonder Sue's got pissed off with that fan next to her, because she'd already suffered through an hour stuck on the road, the main road, listening to whatever tunes were on. But I had my Apple headphones, but they were with the cord, and one of our listeners, she's like, oh, that's so old school of you. That's so cute. And I'm like, no. I do not trust myself.
No.
Yeah.
To not lose this if I just had the AirPods. Like, I have to have.
I need to attach to myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely.
Yeah. I think I've got like 3 pairs. I mean, none of them. Only one of them are for the new phone. But I need the cords. There's no way, no how that I would actually keep a hold of those AirPods. So
I realised how reliant I was on the cords when you went down to Sydney. I'm like, that was the Nick on the Street headphones. I needed those. So
no, but they were they're the ones I had in my personal ones. So that's
like always I thought. I'm like, no, those are his personal ones. After I'm like, oh damn, Mitch is saying like, no, those were his. Yeah, because so what do I need? So
that is some behind the scenes, because you would do Nick on the Street go to the Caxton on Wednesday and on air, and something happened. You're like, oh well, I had to buy headphones on the way here.
I did have my headphones
because the other guy took them to Sydney, and I'm like, I'm looking around the guys, and Buzz looks at me like, why would you do that to Nick? And I'm like, I didn't do shit, because I remember leaving.
I realised this. I'm like, no, I think my disorganisation is misguided, and those are not. I'm like, no, those would be Mitch's.
Somewhere in the middle, because I remember leaving, and we keep there's a little table that's it's got a.
call it the
tray.
bourbon shelf.
I call it the bourbon shelf because it's got so much like electronic, like really important equipment underneath. But on top, I've got a silver tray with a decanter that the team they got me. Actually, I think it's a Star Wars decanter. They got it for me for my birthday a couple of years ago. 4 glasses, as if I'm like Mad Men. Like after the show, I'm like, guys, you want to come in here and have a bourbon straight? You know, a little neat. Never gets open.
in the
Never
morning.
gets open. It's never had a drop go out of there.
What is this, radio in the mid-2010s?
Exactly right. And right next to it, and that's where I keep like one set of headphones and then another one that's got a splitter so that if we talk to a guest, hey, we can hook it all up and it's easy. It's compact, it's easy equipment. And I went to grab it because I knew that there was a good chance I was going to have to do something on the Thursday morning, day after the game, go out there and I'm like, I will take those because I'll need them. And I picked it up and I'm like, no, don't do that. You've got your own pair. Put it down. And I remember putting it down going, well, I don't need to tell anyone that it's here because it's always here. No one touches it.
I did manage to find that. It was just the cable headphone that I was missing. I'm like, oh, no, that's Mitch's. You don't have a backup for this.
So you found the black ones?
I found the black ones, but the black ones wouldn't work. You're absolved of all guilt. And I was like, oh, no. Mitch,
it's all Nick's fault.
If it's all my fault, I'm like, of course
No.
Mitch took Mitch's headphones because they're Mitch's headphones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have a backup here. So instead of going and buying just an adapter for the normal white pair with a jack, I panic bought a crappy pair from Shell, then realised that the cross sounded crap from Caxton Street. So then the next day I went back and bought the splitter then I could do it better on... That's right, tax time's coming up, so I'm sure I can write it all off. I better be able to.
Just straight now, just get little petty cash.
But anyway, that's a little petty.
Well,
But
actually, make it, if any, there would have been, and because there always is, there were 2 pairs, and I've started keeping the 2 iPhone, the white ones, and then the black set for the splitter for the guest, because I want when we go out and do Zoom, our Supernova to be able to wear a pair of headphones as well, because often I'll be talking about something, and the guys will be like, "Oh, show us over here." But the Super can't hear what the guys are talking about.
Of course.
So now we've
that
got
makes
3
sense.
sets of headphones, and so I don't know why. Anyway, doesn't
We'll work
matter.
it
The
out.
investigation
We'll
will
work it
continue.
out. But no, it's a successful trip, successful night. Got up, did the show the next day. Ash managed to completely destroy the coffee machine.
Yes,
Oh my
he
God.
did do that.
God, that's funny. I don't care. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah.
For the content.
for the plot, I'm glad he did that.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of taboo in this industry. For some reason, there's this weird sort of ceasefire, and we're not allowed to have a go at other stations or other shows. We kind of just have to turn on each other. So I don't mind us causing like Susie stealing Ricky, Tim, and Joel's blanket, or or Ash missing up Kate, Tim,
Well, even
Kate, Tim,
beyond-
and Joel's bloody coffee
The coffee
machine.
machine. Beyond that too, we went and there was waters in that fridge. So we just grabbed all these bottles of water on Wednesday. And after the show, I've carried in, our dirty coffee cups and put my bottle of water down. Buzz has carried his coffee cup in, put his water bottle down. And then I swear to God, he grabbed my water. And I went, oh, sorry, mate. No, this one's yours. He goes, no, I put mine down here. And I'm like, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. I trust you. We'll probably kiss tonight at Origin or something, like making a joke about, I don't care about boy jams, mate. It's fine. And he goes, no, look, I know I was sick last week and I know I'm feeling good. Look, just in case, let's get new bottles. Okay, so we've got 2 more bottles of water out of the fridge. Yesterday I rolled in and I see that there's like 2 or 3 left. And then there's a label very clearly on the drawer saying, do not take. And it was FWK, so Fitzy, Whipper, and Kate, guests only. Do not take these for staff.
I mean,
I'm
you're
like,
technically guests.
sure, but
Well, I should say, when we got those bottles of water on Wednesday, they were given to us by someone at that station.
okay. All I'm saying is
Somebody
they're
at
going
that
to go in
station
there.
handed 7 bottles of water out that they shouldn't have.
They're going to have like, an important guest come in and go, do you want a coffee? Yeah, no worries. We'll go use a coffee machine. Oh, it's broken. Can I get you a water? Absolutely, get me a water.
Yeah, look,
"Oh, we don't have any
if
fresh
you want to get
bottles."
water, go get it out of the coffee machine because Ash filled it up.
Yeah.
I'm just sad you didn't get your kiss from Buzz, Mitch, but that's okay.
Hey, look, the year is still early. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's still young.
Now, apparently, an interesting situation went down on the flight on the way home. It was brought to our attention, and I learned it first via your story, Alicia, yesterday, that Vince Vaughn,
Vince
the actor,
Vaughn
and
was on our Qantas
the
flight.
star of so many of my favourite films, that genre
I
of comedies. Vince Vaughn is
Love him.
a pillar of
Yeah.
that. Now, I knew he was doing a speaking tour. The same company that did Tom Brady. It's the same
Yeah.
guy hosting it. But it presented a really interesting opportunity. And I'm not saying it's an opportunity gone begging or anything like that, because I know there are normal sensibilities around this. But my content brain kicked into gear when I realised that, I'm like, Ash had line of sight on him, but Ash didn't even take a photo of him on the plane. I'm like, that's an opportunity gone begging. But I was like, I wondered your executive producer brain, because I guess it's your job. An executive producer's job is to wrangle the interviews. Now, you probably didn't realise till afterwards. Lutzy says he knew beforehand, but I don't imagine you guys were all sitting
Yeah.
together, so this wouldn't have been a group conversation. But I wanted to know if at any point did it cross your mind, not saying that it should have, but did it go through your producer brain, I reckon I can get him here.
Immediately.
Yep,
It
there
was
it
the
is.
First
There
thing
it is.
I went, is that Vince Vaughn? I should get him for the show tomorrow. Like, immediately. Yeah, but I did know that he was coming to Brisbane. Like you said, they've been promoting this thing for a while, so
Yeah.
I have seen it before. I believe I've already reached out to them beforehand as
You were-
well.
I'm sure you
when
went
I
through the
saw.
official channels.
Yeah, and then, yeah, obviously didn't give it another thought again until I saw him yesterday, and I went, oh my God, I should get Vince Vaughn on the show tomorrow. But, you know, very, very long shot A-list of Vince Vaughn. Plus, he's probably in town to do something very, very boring that we don't particularly want to talk about, even if it is Vince Vaughn that's talking about it. So, you know.
I understand. I understand, Mitch. I mean, just being around Vince Vaughn would be cool
Oh.
enough, but
See, I didn't go into
even-
like it wasn't a producing or content sort of thing. In my head, it was just like, oh, I've got to get a photo. I've got to meet him.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
shake
there
his
you go, there
hand
we
sort
go.
of thing. But
That's
he-
the amazing thing. Like, that wasn't even the first thing that came to my head. And
well, you know
I
what? The first
have
thing
had-
you did, because you were in front of me walking through the plane. So we go through, we show our pass to the staff, and then you take your right turn to go down the plane, and you take that one step, and then you sort of stuck there in the 2 or 3 rows of business class while everyone in front of you is heading.
forced to look
Yeah.
at you, the proletariat, just looking down on.
But as you do, like my eyes just sort of, you're not just staring at the back of like Alicia's head or something. Like my eyes just gaze around, and I lock eyes with this bloke on his phone, and I'm like, I wonder what my eyes then like. Did they light up? Because I'm like, holy shit, that's Vince Vaughn.
Mine
And he's on his phone. He's
definitely
like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, just be cool, whatever. That's kind of fun. That's right. He's going to Brisbane. And then I see Alicia see him. She's like, and you dead set nearly like fell. I reckon. You was
I
like, oh my God! And then we got 2 or 3 rows into cattle class, and you were like, oh my God, Vince Vaughn. He's like my dad crush. He's like one of my. Oh my God! And I was like,
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to need to
we can
hold
we
you up.
unpack this.
You were freaking out, and I was loving that because there's people that I do that for as well, and I could see Alicia was really having a
He
moment.
definitely saw it on my face when me and him locked eyes. I probably just, like, my face probably just went, oh, like, my mouth fell open, and he immediately turned his back to me, and like he even did a little shuffle on his chair to make sure that his shoulder was facing away, and he
Maybe
carried on
he-
his phone conversation in his American accent,
Maybe
and that
he
was what
saw-
confirmed it for me. That he was
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn.
maybe he saw my eyes sort of like go wide, even though I swear that they didn't. And then he's looked at you, and you've nearly stumbled. He's went, okay, I just got to look at the wall away
Yeah.
from these guys.
I just love the idea that he would like lock eyes with you, Mitch, and then just launch into some Vince Vaughn style monologue.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do now? Okay, you've got my attention. Now we're looking and we're talking. We're going to talk now. We're going to go photo. Yeah, we're going to have a photo. Then you show it to your friends.
Yeah.
God, I would have loved that.
I know. That actually would have been the greatest experience of all. I'm really also annoyed because I didn't quite get to have the celebrity experience you guys did yesterday. But when I was out handing out coffees for all 18 players of the Maroons to take the field, I was approached by a former NRL player, Nick Graham, formerly of the Cronulla Sharks.
Yeah.
Played one game for I think Country City Origin.
Yeah.
But no, he's a friend of the friend of the show. We're having a good chat about Origin. It cleared up something as part of my past as well. I'm like, that's why Marto from Triple M always used to call me Nick Graham. He could never remember my surname. But I'm like, and I kept asking, who is Nick Graham? And this guy goes, oh, I'm Nick Graham. I'm like, I don't know how to explain this, but you're you. But anyway,
So you didn't recognize him.
I've never met him.
So why did he just come up and introduce
Oh,
himself? to
because
you?
Sam was wearing the Nova gear. I was in the maroon kit, and we'd said obviously where we are for the cross.
So he'd heard it on the air.
Yeah, he'd heard it. He came on down. He also
listens to our
and he
shows
took the
and
opportunity
sees
to
it.
pitch us an interview. A guy that's actually been on our show before when he took off around the world on a marathon run.
Oh,
And
interesting.
hopefully, I might try and get him on the next couple of weeks. But
Okay.
he's actually a friend of. This is me pitching an interview to you.
Live. Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
I'm not,
Put the pressure on.
yeah, so
We'll talk about this off air,
No,
as well as your contract. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm not in charge of that.
No, you're not. I don't answer to you. But no, it's been another big week. I'm very excited. Our little man Lockie will be back next week, hopefully. And what's coming up on Monday's show, Alicia?
Oh, just another
Look,
No.
she's had a big week.
Yeah. I
Oh,
haven't
sorry. The
been-
whole point of me telling you that story was that he used to play for Wigan.
Did he?
He was a Wigan Warrior.
Oh.
I was halfway through that going, there's something else I was supposed
And
to
if
mention
anybody
here.
noticed, I did slip a Wigan Warriors question into Smile and Sue's this week.
Proud of you.
Definitely noticed.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go off. Let's enjoy our weekend. To all of you, make sure you catch up. Still more podcasts to come. We've got the Sunday session and the 3 a.m. Jibber dropping over the weekend. And great interview with Kevy Walters ahead of the Sharks game tomorrow night. Mitch and I, you and I will be back down there tomorrow.
Yes,
He was a
yes.
fun chat.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Ash is back as well this week, so
Can I drop another, behind the scenes
Different
little tidbit?
Please.
When Kevin Walters was supposed to be on the show this morning,
Mm.
his phone decided to update at the exact moment.
You're joking.
So I
What a
couldn't
great
get
excuse.
I couldn't get a hold of him. I called him maybe 5 times, and then I saw somebody ringing the competition line. So I answered it, and he said, "I'm Kevin Walters. I'm supposed to be doing an interview right now." And I said, "I'm just going to pop you on hold for a second because I don't know Kevin Walters' voice." So I was like, this could be a listener. Because we said it. We said on air, we're supposed to have Kevin Walters right now, but we can't get a hold of him. And I was like, anybody could have just called up and been like, "I'm Kevin Walters. Get me on the air." So I literally was like, "I'm just going to pop you on hold." Put him on hold. Asked Mitch to come into my little booth, and I was like, "Mitch, I'm just going to have a quick conversation with this guy. Can you tell me if this is Kevin Walters?"
Can you confirm?
And it was Kevin Walters. But yeah.
First of all, one, I love that Kevy knows to call the comp line.
Yeah, I know.
Second, are we sure that he just wasn't trying to win tickets to the game on the weekend?
Probably.
That's Susie just walking out with a final donut.
Yeah.
It's like a cameo at the end of a Marvel movie, just like swanning
I
in
know.
and going, "What's she doing?" She's here to tease next week.
Always stick around at the end of the podcast for an appearance from someone.
Yeah.
Ash will probably come back later to find his keys. All right, that's it. We'll get out, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.